So you want to edit like Iman Gadzhi, but you're not able to. This is why I made this video where I'm going to cover this car animation with the illusion of a road and then transforming into an AI image. The reason behind making this animation is because I wanted to cover as much as possible in an animation and along with animating an AI image. And luckily for you guys, I put the project file in the description below with all the assets that you need. With that being said, let's get into the video. Okay, so the first scene we're gonna design is gonna be this scene where you can see the car and then this road and a little bit of the text and etc. So let's get into it. Designing is the most important factor first. So let's see all the elements that we need throughout the edit and we just get straight into it. So as you guys saw in the preview, basically there was a car, an F1 Formula looking car, which is what we need. Now I already have found it from a website called FreePick. I will put this in the description below so you guys don't have to worry about that. And basically all we need to do is literally just mask out any of them. So basically I could come to this one and I'm gonna mask it out. You can see we'll have this as a layer. Then the reason why I took EPS, by the way, is because EPS you can alter the size and the quality does not go down whatsoever. See, quality is extremely good, and this is if it's not EPS. So basically I'm using the model as the illustration itself. You can see the difference, so it doesn't get pixelated. I don't know if you guys know about vectors, but vectors basically have no quality in them as they don't use pixel, so obviously they don't get pixelated. So yeah, pretty much what we need is an effect called BCC Colorize. So I'm gonna add that BCC Colorize. What that does is it allows us to alter actual colors. So you can see right now we're having just color 3 activated and color 3 is put on gray. So I'm just gonna put it on white. And I think you can even spread this out more if I'm not wrong. However, this is still pretty good. We want it to be a bit brighter. We can mess a bit, with the colors and stuff. So right now we have it way brighter, and yeah, this is perfect. This is pretty much what we need. So right now we're good to go with the car. Now the second thing we need to do is we just need to set the size of this car. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna rotate it. I'm not gonna rotate it, sorry. I'm gonna sizen it down to something like this, and we have to create basically some type of road just to create the illusion, as you guys saw in the recap before. And actually the road is way easier than you expect. So let's just get into the road real quick. First thing we're gonna do is just select on the pen tool, and then I'm gonna do Control R to bring up the scale over here, and I'm gonna put it in the middle of the screen. To analyze the middle of the screen, I'm just gonna do this. You can see this is the middle. As you can see, there's an anchor point in the very middle, and I'm gonna put like 1 point over here and 1 point in the end over here. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna bring up pen tool to this exact line, and we want to increase the stroke to something like, say, 13 does the job. 13 is pretty good, and we have it below the car as well. I'm gonna remove the scale. Perhaps we can make this 15, to be honest. So I'm gonna make it 15. Now I'm gonna go to dashes, and then in dashes I'm gonna click plus, and we just want to increase this until we have like a good amount. So a good amount, I'd say, would probably be, this would be a good amount. This is a pretty good amount. Maybe a bit lesser, like, yeah, that's decent. That's it, almost what they have. And then we keyframe the offset from here till here. We do like this way, I think. So let's see.
No, you need the right.
So now it's going opposite of the movement, so I did a mistake. I'm gonna have to do plus on the plus side and then something very high. So now you can see basically the car is moving. However, I think we want to do this on a faster speed of scale. So I'm just gonna go to the end keyframe and make it even more. Something like it's moving extremely fast, as it's an F1 car, we can't do something too slow. We want it even faster. Wow. Okay, this is an ideal good speed. Yeah, this is a pretty good speed. So now we have this kind of illusion that our car is moving on a road. Now what we want to do is pretty much just bring up an effect called, not an effect, sorry, I meant an adjustment layer. And on the adjustment layer we want to add transform. So you can see transform, And from transform, if you do any type of altering, we're good. What we can do is also expand the shape layer a little bit, just so that it doesn't get out of the rotation. See, like this. That's pretty good. So if we rotate, the road is not cut halfway or anything like that, you know. And then what we want to do is we want to go to our rotation, and we're just gonna keyframe scale and rotation over here, or transform. Let's go to somewhere like 3. Okay, and over here we want to scale this down more, and we want it to be rotated towards direction that's pretty much like this. And then we want it to start with a more scale and rotation like this, as long as along with position as well. So let me just put this down. Now let's play it. So we have this kind of rotation, which is decent, and I'm gonna pull the position more down so that we can have scale for the elements, area or space for the elements that are gonna come on top. So this is how it will pretty much look. And then we want to set a graph. So click F9 and then do 80 on this side and 80 on this side as well. So now we have this kind of movement. However, I think this is pretty slow. Let's make this sharper like this. Look at it. Okay, well, we have something similar. Now what we want to do is just a little bit of a car movement, and we also want to add on the current transform as well, just to, because they did as well. So just before we add the elements and move the car, we do the final rotation of how it will go. So at second 4, for example, it's gonna be rotated like this, and yeah, pretty much this will create the type of exact movement that we want. I think we have done a pretty good job over here. Let's take a quick look at it. So let's look at this. This is what happens, and then it goes back to this. Yeah, this is pretty good. We have it very similar to what they have. Now we want to do the car movement. So for the car movement, I'd say it's extremely simple. That's why I use transform, so we don't have to worry too much about, you know, rotating the car or anything. So I have transform right now, and I'm gonna pretty much put the position over here and then go in front. Let's say at this point it comes in the middle. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna look at this, and let's set 80 on both sides. Okay, you guys can do it manually. I've showed it a couple of times, and I'm just gonna drag this. Now let's look at this. I think this is happening pretty late, if I'm not wrong. So okay, let's do this graph instead. So this graph, let me do it manually with you guys so you guys know how to do it. I won't keep repeating the graphs over and over again, but I will keep mentioning that it's either 80 or, you know, all the way left. This is called all the way left, or 100 on the right side and 33 on the left side. You can see. So yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Now, amazing. Yeah, that's pretty much it for the movement. Now we have an extremely good movement. Now what we want to do is we just want to add the elements. The elements are also going to be pretty easy to do so. So let's get into that. Let's do our initial design first. So I'm going to remove transform. All right. So we can do our initial design. Actually, let me just, so let's zoom in over here. Now I'm going to go to rounded rectangle tool, and I'm going to make this like 3 to be honest. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this. Okay, you can see I created a little box very similar to what they have. Now what I'm going to do is just change up the roundness. However, I do think the roundness is already perfect. Like, it wasn't much altered. It's already the exact value that we want it to be. Default roundness is always defaulted to 20, and then we want to create another one. But one thing, just before we do so, I did realize that the size is a bit too much on this side. I think this is a pretty good one. So, and we want to do another one just on the inside here. You can see the roundness on this one is a lot, or it looks like it's a lot. Might be wrong. Yeah, that's good. Now what we want to add is a little tick. For the tick, I'm gonna do this, and this. That's decent, to be honest. I'm holding V on my keyboard, by the way, just to alter this and then go back to normal, you know. So yeah, V is used to, yeah. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna select both of these, decrease the stroke a little bit more, and I'm gonna set it to color like blue. Say dark blue. Yeah, this is pretty good. This does the job. The tick is awful. Never mind. So we gotta Couldn't tell from close, by the way, but when we look at it from far, now it's much better, much better. And let's increase the stroke, to be honest, back to 3. That's good. And now we want to add this text that says business model. So the font is Montserrat extra bold. You want to make it all this way, you know. It's not extra bold, to be honest. I think it's way lesser. It would be like semi bold. Yeah, that's good. I'm gonna decrease the size until it fits properly inside this box. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna decrease the gap as well because it's too much gap. That's good, bro. That's good. Now we want to just spread it out evenly a little bit. So I'm gonna put the anchor point in the middle, both of them, and bring this. Now let's look at this. It's not too bad, but yeah. Now I'm gonna decrease opacity on this one. It's not rotation, sorry. What did I do? This? Or not decrease opacity. Let's see what we can do. 1 minute. What I need to add is a black shade that's gonna be inside this. That's what we need to do as well. So I'm gonna add black like this. Okay, so you can see right now. We can't really see the black because it's camouflaging. But now if I right up fill, we have this fill. I'm gonna click on it again. And now I'm gonna decrease the opacity. So what that does kind of a transparency. No, it's not too black. So you get my point, right, guys? And then I want to go to stroke, okay? And then decrease the, what we'll do, we want to decrease the opacity until it looks like it's gray. And we want to decrease the stroke width as well. So now we have an extremely close one. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to align them, all of them in the center. So now we have done a very close one. Extremely close, guys. I want to add deep glow on this. Okay, so I'm gonna add deep glow and required for text. Make this 0.03, I mean 0.3, sorry. And then we want to go to chromatic aberration and enable. So it created that kind of exact deep glow that they do as well. Now to duplicate it, extremely easy. You know, one thing I realized is that the length or the width of this should be a little bit more. So let's go on the size, increase the width. I'm not sure, to be honest. Yeah, that should do the job. Maybe I should increase the size of this a little bit more and then move all three, not all three, stick left or here. So you see, once we increase the size of the text, we need to. Yeah, okay, that's good, guys, that's good. I'm just gonna align both of them, all of them, in case they're not aligned. Okay, we wanna basically go to text, then animate. Want to do position, I think, range selector. See if we can do based on words. Yeah, this is based on words. And now what we're gonna do is that, see, it's gonna come by itself one by one based on words. So let's increase this more. So it's gonna come from outside. Okay, guys, got it. And we make it start over here. At this point, we keyframe the starting. Yeah, okay. Let's go now. Let's say around 20 frames. So 1, 2, and bring this way. Then we wanna do all the way to the left as I showed before. So look at this. But I'm just doing this method for you guys, so you don't have to, like, you know, worry too much about using external plugins. I'm gonna cut it so that comes halfway, and then yeah, that's good. Even though it's a bit linear, but does the job. For the box, the external box, we want to animate it to be scale and opacity, then 1, 2, something like that, and then get out, do opacity 0 and scale it down, and then we do all the way to the left graph. So this is what's gonna happen. This is what they have as well. And now we want to do something called trim path for the tick. Okay, so for the tick, we're gonna add over here trim path, and from like this, keyframe end, then go in front, make this 100. And now let's look at it. Let's look at the tick, guys. Look, amazing, perfect. We just copy the trim path and we paste it on this layer as well. And now we have animation for both of these. And yeah, we literally just created the animation. Now we're gonna copy and then paste. Now I'm gonna write vehicle and then grab this tick, pull it over here, holding shift, by the way, so that it's like in a straight line, you know. Okay, now we select all of this, we center each and everything in case it's not, and I think we can have this closer I'm not wrong. A bit more closer. And then we pull all of them to be in the middle. Now, let's enable transform, put it above everything, and look. Okay, business model. We want to delay the vehicle, obviously. We want it to come at this point, so this is where all of it pops up. Nice, nice, amazing. Let's preview this in half, quarter, or whatever. So let's preview so that it's fast, you know? We don't want to take hours for it. Amazing. Bro, that was easily done. Guys, that was done in a very short time. Extremely easy. Now what we want to do is just the camera movement. So the main thing in this stuff is all designing. It's not even that hard to do this kind of things. So now what we want to do is we just want to, I'm going to create a null this way, place it in the middle of them both below the adjustment layer, and both of these are going to be linked to this. Now we're going to position them outside like how Iman did. Outside at this point. Now I'm going to take all of them and cut it. And the graph is going to be 80 on both sides as I showed you guys. I have no idea why this glitch is happening. Okay, so it's because of the deep glow. So you see if I disable the deep glow, it doesn't happen. So to avoid this, actually deep glow has this kind of feature that if it goes outside the screen, it bugs up. I'm just going to cut it at this point. And then also for the word vehicle, cut it at this point. So look, now the bug won't happen. Yep. Okay, that's good. That's good. We want to get into the AI animation part, which is the main video about. Obviously, we have some kind of background that also needs to be there, but it's not infinite background, like it's just a fixed background. So that's going to be added in the very end over here. And now what we want to do is we want to basically just use our transform tool. Okay, we want to keyframe position from, let's say, 4 to somewhere like, say, maybe 6, you know. Place this outside this exact way. This is what will happen. And then we do this kind of graph. Should be 80 on both sides. So let's look at it. It is a bit delayed. So I'd say it's gonna be a bit earlier. Let's look at it now. Yeah, that's amazing. That's pretty much what we want. Ooh. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna place a marker on the pre-comp itself so I know the positions, and place another. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna pre-comp all of this. Okay, so Control Shift C, and I'm gonna name it car movement. Okay, and then I will tell you why I placed those markers, by the way, because we'll need them when adding or positioning the AI part from below to up. So for this part, I'm gonna make it even better than Iman himself. As you can see, we're on Gemini. What I'll do is I'll just say generate a black shape reading a book that looks kind of realistic. So I want to expand more on this and show you guys how animations are actually done by Iman. So this is why I expanded into, you know, not really going into free pick in order to get the person, because I wanted to cover just AI a little bit more, as you guys don't have much idea from what I'm expecting because of the lack in the amount of videos. So I did use Gemini, which is free, and I just prompted it for a black shape layer, and I really like this. I want to see how we can get creative with this one. I'm probably gonna remove the background and keep this shape and this person. So let me just download it, and now that I'm in remove background, I'm gonna drag this over here, and it should do it by itself. Amazing. This is exactly what we need. We also need it sits here, and let's download this, and then let's import it into After Effects. So here we are with the image. It's pretty good quality. What we want to do is we just want to probably create an illusion of making this stone bigger so that it doesn't look like it's cut out. We want to set the anchor point around this person and then set him in the middle of the screen, I think. I'm not sure how it works. Wait, let me see. I'm gonna put a little shape layer and put the anchor point in the middle of the shape, and then this helps you identify what's the middle point. So right now, something like this, but below. Now we have them. We have this figure in the middle of the screen, and we want to create the stone to be bigger somehow. So in this situation, I tell you to use AI, but it's not that important. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna duplicate this, and I'm gonna select mask, do something like cut it from here. And now let's see if I position this. How does it look? Is it bad? Is it good? So let me position. So yeah, pretty much it does look like it's cut out. What I can do is I can make it half the stone. Now that looks better. Well, when we see it from far, it's not that bad. And then we have this AI. Now what we want to do with this AI figure is we want to animate him, and we just want to do a little camera movement as well. So we're gonna make this appear right over here. Let's hide that. Now let's work on animating this. So to animate this, just gonna put up the puppet tool. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this on focus mode. The puppet tool will basically, you know, look, if I do this, let's say I put this and I move it, obviously the whole image moves because there's only one point. But now let's say if I anchor this, like if I put a reference point or something, this is bending. So what I want to do is I want to prevent the stone to bend in all cases. So I'm gonna set like around the whole stone so that nothing moves from the stone at all. Okay, so now if I do this, look, the stone is not moving, it's only the figure that's moving and the figure's body. So that's exactly what we want. Now I'm gonna click U just to analyze what is this point. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna like go in front, basically move this, and now you can see this is point 1. We also want the book to be basically moved kind of something like this. Now we have, let's see, we have point 28 and point 1 that have movement. I'm just gonna flip this, for example. Let's see. Well, this is a very bad movement. I just did it to show you guys, but yeah, let's improve it right now. We don't want him to look weird reading this, you know. Have a bit of a curve as well, something like this. So no, that's not bad, but we want it to be better for sure. So it's gonna be like this. Okay, that's decent. The book is too much in front. Now we're just gonna spread this out evenly. So the whole point was to show you guys that with Puppet you can animate characters. I have done this in one Iman video in the past, but I don't think many people watched it as the video kind of flopped. In case you want to watch that, just head over to where I do an animation, the characters. So let's look at this. Not bad, I'd say. And we want a text to say what way is the best way to make money, just like Iman Gadzhi. So gonna write that down. Just before I do, what I need to do is I'm gonna pre-comp this, okay, and then I'm gonna pull this down a little bit more. Now what I'm gonna write is what way is the best way to make money. Now let's sizen this down, put it in the middle, do this W by mistake. Now I want to make all of this medium or even lesser, regular, and then the best way, we select it and we make it bold or even extra bold. So you can see now we have the exact same text. Just drag that forward, and we want to make an animation for, you know, what way is the best way to make. So as you guys can do it the same way I did it previously, but I just would rather use TextEvo as it's way smoother. So see, if I do this, look at it guys, that's pretty much exactly what we want, to be honest. Now you guys can see the text is extremely smooth. We just want this to be faster, so 3, so that's not too delayed. And what I'm gonna do is also I'm gonna go to time and do freeze on last frame. Okay, so it's gonna play normally and then it's gonna stay there, you know, the whole time. And we want to add just the last element from the video, which will be the little arrow that they did as well. So let's try to replicate it. It's gonna be something like this. Gonna make the fill 0 and the stroke Y so that I'm able to look at it, and increase it to 15. That's too much. 10 is good, and then pretty much like this. Now that's a very close replication of the shape. It was extremely easy to do. And then point it more towards money, and then yeah, so the trim path, as I said, trim path as I did before. Right now, just to save time, I'm gonna use a script. And by the way, I'll be releasing scripts soon for you guys. If you guys want a trim path script, it's gonna be in the description below. So let's play this, just waiting for it to load a little bit. My PC is lagging at the moment, but yeah, we have the movement, guys. We are pretty much, you know, done. Right now what we need is just a little bit of additions here and there. So let's do that. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pre-comp all of this, and then I'm gonna do position, Okay, gonna make all of this come up at this point, bring this from down. We're gonna do the exact same graph they did. So now this is how it's gonna be, except it's gonna come from more down. Okay, so yeah, amazing. So you can see the movement was very easy. It's way easier than you think it would be. And the thing that we just missed is that the animation, we can't see it right now. So what we're gonna have to do is I'm just gonna have to go in there and delay it, like make it calm at this point, so that you know it's viewable. But it's gonna be like this point is where we want it to be peaked. So let me drag this, and amazing. Let's look. Good. So this is our animation. Our animation is pretty much done. We want the arrow to appear a bit earlier, as we're not the exact same. Now what we want to do is we just want to improve the design a little bit. So yeah, that's very easy, guys. First thing we want to do is obviously we want to create solid, and on the solid we're gonna add gradient ramp, and in the gradient ramp we're gonna make this dark blue like how they had it. Okay, so we have a close replication already. I think it's already the exact same, but I'm just gonna make this a bit more. And now I'm gonna place it below, and we want to add gradient or vignette on this as well. So we have these kind of shades that they have. Now we have the exact same thing. Look, and one thing they did is, I'll show you. If you guys can see these arrows, not arrows, the road, basically they have some kind of shade. So for that, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna click on rectangle tool, go on to tool create mask, this, okay, drag this a little bit so that it's not cutting out as there is transform. It's a bit weird, don't worry about that. Now we're gonna go over here and mask feather, gonna increase, or yeah, a mask expansion a little bit lesser. Now look, what will happen is that we'll have this kind of shade that they had as well. I want to do it more, to be honest. They have it on a lot as well. Now you can see the roads don't just appear, they have this kind of fade the exact same way they had. Final tweakings that we want to do is literally just add an effect called film grain. This is going to be with the project file in the description below. And on this film grain I'm gonna do add, and now I'm gonna add an adjustment layer, and on this adjustment layer we're gonna have my preset. It's called Iman Turb. I created it, but we want to remove the deep glow. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add deep glow on the layers individually. So now you guys can see this is amazing. We want to have the deep glow on what is the best way to make money. So I just cut the deep glow, come in over here and make this required for text. So this is going to have deep glow, amazing, as well as the shape layer. So let me just copy the deep glow over here, put it on the shape layer, but the shape layer also has chromatic aberrations, put that in. And now let's view the final animation with, and obviously I'm gonna put the adjustment layer, the preset in the description as well, which is gonna be with the project file. All these assets and everything is gonna be with the project file. Now let's have a final view of how it looks, guys. Here it is. This is our final version. Amazing guys. This is crazy, along with the movement, and I made it even better than the actual version, except their car is a bit more realistic, but everything else we did was, oh my god, perfect. Crazy, guys. So yeah, that's pretty much it. This project file is gonna be in the description below. With that being said, see you guys in the next video. Peace out.